Yesterday night at around 3 a.m. the East African time, I received a very disturbing email from one of my friends. This guy explained of his predicament in the field of relationship. He was very much depressed and stressed out because of his several failed relationships. He could not understand what really was wrong. So, encouraged by the same, and I opened by the same, I decided to do a real video on why sometimes we do find that our relationships fail. We do find that our marriages break. Why? How comes that after some time of good relationship, mutual relationship, warm relationship with a lady, at some point you find her tracking back? Why does she start pulling out? So, it is in this basis that today I want to talk about why you lost her. Why this lady chose to let you go. Why did this lady started tracking back to your relationship? Why you lost her? Why you lost her? Why is it? One, it could be that in most of your conversations, especially the first encounter, you use the wrong pickup lines. Just imagine you have just encountered a lady for the first time. You go there, greet her, introduce yourself, but in the process, you start just preaching the gospel of your greatness. You start telling her on who you are in that locality. You start telling her of how many premises you own in that locality. Which means you present yourself as a savior and expect her to welcome you. So somehow, you present yourself as a very important person in her life, which should not be the case. Instead, you should be thoughtful and respectful as you approach her. Two, it could be that this guy who has experienced failed relationship is fond of ignoring this lady. It is widely understood, and it is that most ladies and all ladies do weigh their level of importance to a person or a man by the amount of attention that such a man gives this lady. So, if you are there, always not giving enough attention to this lady, you sometimes go for a longer duration without checking in her, chances are that you will lose her. And that is why this man may have lost these various girlfriends. Number three, you could be of more swagger than substance. You are a man who talks big games but cannot track down well to reach what he talks about. You look a flamboyant man, but still a greenhorn in matters to do with life. You have no idea on whatever business venture. You have no idea of any investment. You have no idea of savings. But still you dress well. You are the very version of a man. You are the person who knows what should be dressed on for whatever function. But when it matters to do with life, you are zero. Chances that you are likely not to go anywhere with a serious lady. Chances are great that you will lose her. Four, you could be a narcissist. A person who is obsessed with self-admiration. This is closely related to the bad pickup lines. You just think of yourself, you are very selfish. All you think is about how good you look, how people should view you. You just feel like you're on top of everything. But in real sense, in most occasions, you find that such guys are usually weak guys. They know nothing, but they are only full of themselves. And their selfish nature carries them on top of everything. And the chances are that If you cannot be selfless and forgiving and supportive to a lady, chances are that you will eventually lose her. And that is why you lost her. 5. You could be too preoccupied and obsessed with sex. You are just there. You don't think of how to make this lady a better version of herself. You are just there. All you think is all topics that you bring up is can we try this experiment, this style? All comments of your past encounters in the bedroom. That is all you can discuss with a lady. So some of these ladies just feel okay. I'm just there as a sex object, and chances are that she will give up on you and you lose her. Number 6, you could be this guy who is a straighter, male chauvinist. What do I mean? This guy who has natural disrespect for women. Just imagine this guy who is out with a lady. When this guy sees a female waitress, this guy sees a sweet chick. When this guy sees another female bartender, this guy just sees a darling. When this guy sees another female person, this person just sees a little lady. You can see how this guy is meaningful to the girl child. And being that at the moment the person you are dealing with is a girl child, it is obvious that will not go down well with her. And the chances are that you will eventually lose her. Another aspect, it could be that you are this guy who gives much of service, mouth service. You are just this guy who is there talking, but you cannot help out. Ladies do like a person they can lean on during hard times. A person who can support them. A person who can support them both emotionally and in real life situation, career-wise, financially if necessary. But if you have this man who is just there to make cheap jokes by digging on others, then you stand no chance of getting anywhere with this lady. The fact remains that you will eventually lose her, and you will also confirm that you lose her. Another aspect is you could be that you are ogling at other women in the presence of this lady. Just imagine, just get into the shoe of this lady now. Flip it to the other side. You are a man surrounded with a lady who is always making statements in the praises of another guy, probably an ex, probably a guy who this lady knows. A CEO of a given company. How do you feel? You feel just inferior. You feel worthless. It is the same. If you find yourself with a lady, still once in a while, you flip your eyes, looking around to see another lady. You glue your eyes on that lady as she makes her calculated steps until she disappears with the blues. You also move your head and your sight around to pick another lady, escort her, while still you are with this lady around you. Chances will be that this lady will conclude that you are not interested in her, and you are definitely wasting her time, and the chances are that you will eventually lose her, and that one you will confirm one day. Number 9, there is this bullish behavior. You just go to a lady, you don't calculate your words well. You just go there, you see, I'm here to do this and this on your behalf. I'm the son of Cabinet Secretary so and so. Have you ever heard of the former powerful politician of such a region? That was my grandfather. In fact, I have taken much from that man. In fact, I think I will be the next that man. You are boorish, you are not thoughtful, you are completely disrespectful, and this lady will see you as a narcissist, and chances are that you will eventually lose her, and that is why you will lose her. Last but not least, there is this poor grooming habits and also hygiene. You can imagine this guy with shaggy hair, not dreads, is completely unkempt. Shaggy hair, unironed clothes, bad breath. You can imagine such a guy. That one is an indication of how irresponsible and lazy such a guy is. So, if you are this lady, that this guy is angling to get, chances are that you will be sorry of yourself. You just understand that you will have to be taken through hell, because this person, from the first side, is a lazy person, unaccountable, and generally, how do you imagine if this person cannot care for himself? How much wrong will you be to imagine that such a guy can care for you? You could be very wrong. You could be very wrong, my dear. But even as I end, allow me to say that these highlights could be a clear indication of the kind of man the character is. But also, there is always a playing of other factors, like the personality of the guy. We understand that there are around three. We have the alpha, we have the sigma, and we also have the other groups. But a person like a sigma male is fond of not giving much attention, much publicity to the girl child, but still deep down his heart, he cares much. So as I end, get a list of these highlights, but also try to know the man better. Thank you.